From what I understand, the demo you get is actually pretty similar to the demo that I had, but no basketball footage for some reason. Apparently they don't have rights to it or something like that.
We hit all the beats that you hit at the Worldwide Developers Conference. We got Alicia Keys, we got the dugout view of Fenway Park, and somehow the NBA aspect of it was elided from the general public demo.
More Jokic eraser. What can you say?
Yeah, it's really too bad. No, I left my demo feeling relieved by all of it, because afterward my wife texted me asking how it was, and I said, not great, not terrible, and that's okay. I like, after a weekend of getting low-level anxiety about the future, watching videos of people wearing these headsets in all walks of life, I left that demo feeling pretty confident that we're a long ways from any kind of mass adoption of this technology. And it's
let's start with the positive. What stood out for you?
So positives from a technical standpoint, I didn't personally find the weight to be any sort of problem. I thought the strap they had worked really, really well.
Did you use the single strap or the double strap?
Single strap, and that was great for me.
So I have a theory on this. I have to ask you about this. Were you laid on your stomach as a baby or on your back?
I believe I was on my back, but I can't pause the podcast to call my mom to check.
that blows up my theory. So I have a very round head, and apparently if a baby's always on their back, like you do get sort of a flatter back of your head. And I love the single strap. It's that thickness. I feel like I can feel it like gripping the back of my head and like holding on. And I don't find it uncomfortable at all. The weight did not bother me in the slightest. I was using it for like an hour. I didn't even notice it at all, which is like, it's interesting. I feel a lot of my responses to actually having it were the exact opposite of like what conventional wisdom has settled on. And that was one of them for sure. On the other hand, I thought the dual strap was horribly uncomfortable. I did not enjoy it at all. It didn't seem to work on my head. So that I developed a theory around it that apparently is totally wrong. So that's
right. Well, and just from an engineering standpoint, I thought the single strap was pretty elegant, and they have the little knob on the back that you can adjust, and it all worked very well for me. I will also note that in the past, using Quest products, I've always left feeling a little bit dizzy or sick afterward. That did not happen with the Apple Vision Pro. And similar to what you were just describing, like the demo flew by. So by the time it was over, I was almost ready to complain to the Apple staff because I felt like I was getting gypped somehow, but it was like
30 minutes later.
Yeah, it had already gone over on time. So it flew by, and I was engaged the entire time. And like the audio worked well, the pass-through vision worked well. So it lived up to the hype from a technical standpoint, but I did leave the demo sort of scratching my head, being like, I'm not sure exactly what people would use that for on a regular basis. And so I guess that's sort of the central question as we move forward here.
Well, what were the negatives then? Just that you couldn't figure out how to fit in your life, or were there any sort of active things that you disliked?
So it's interesting. I would say that as I was using it, one thing that I wanted to do was text the group chat, like live updates from my demo, which sounds ridiculous, but also has like real utility because I wanted to take notes as I was doing it. And it was just too difficult to like look down at my phone while also sort of pinching my fingers and navigating around the screen and doing that whole thing. And then as I was encountering that problem, I realized that, for most of the media I consume, like right out of the gate, this is being billed as mostly an entertainment device. And for most of the media I consume, whether it's sports or movies or TV shows, I'm already knee deep in my technology addiction. And so I'm usually texting people and second screening it throughout whatever the experience is. And so the reality is that there's just not that much content that I want to be immersed in, which is what the Vision Pro is offering. And so not only did I sort of struggle navigating from app to app and reading and zooming in, all of which I'm sure would become more intuitive if I had it for a couple of days, but I don't think it would be all that useful from a productivity standpoint for me right now. And then from an entertainment standpoint, it's not really what I want. Like, it wasn't mind blowing enough to say, oh my gosh, I need to just change the way I consume sports and movies going forward, and also watch everything by myself going forward, because this is so amazing that I just have to live in this experience as often as possible. I sort of came away with the opposite take, which was, yeah, it was pretty cool, but definitely not cool enough for me to upend all these other consumption habits that I've developed over the years.
I think that's a pretty accurate takeaway, and I think you touched on a few things, even if you didn't get the experience of them, that became very tangible to me over the last 24 to sort of 36 hours.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that occurred to me once I was using it is that during the demo, you're only ever doing one thing at a time, right? Like you're doing like the Alicia Keys experience, then you're doing the dinosaur experience. By the way, did you feel the butterfly touch your finger?
I didn't get the dinosaur experience or the butterfly touching my finger. So
Another
area, another grievance for me.
Well, it's an app that chips on it, like experiencing dinosaurs. It opens with this butterfly flying out and like it lands on your finger. And it's like 50-50. Some people feel it.
Oh, wow.
You're obviously not feeling it, but it's that it is an incredible experience, and it's so immersive. And like my daughter had a freak out. She's like I want to take it off. I don't want to see it anymore. And which I kind of felt that way with the high rope walking one, which I just bailed on. I'm like, I can't do this crap.
Yeah.
But the just because it is so immersive. But all those experiences are sort of like, it's not just that it's a single player device. All those experiences are single experiences, if that sort of makes sense. And you didn't realize, and this is not what I am excited about.